Hey everybody, it's Doug here, Doug Mystic Eye on Board Game Geek. Just like to welcome you to another episode of Agents of Smersh. This will be, well, I guess our fourth video, third full turn. Things are going fairly well. Dr. Lobo did not move at all. His track didn't move at all last turn, so he had a pretty good turn. 3 successful submissions. But with that being said, one of them resulted in a correction. So I'm going to get to that now, but before I do that, I just want to say that I asked for some people to kick in, let me know if they want me to continue. I got a pretty strong response to that, to continue on, so we're going to at least do another round or two, see if we can't bring this to conclusion one way or the other. I can tell you one thing, if you look on the board, there's a number of intel tokens. We're going to have to resolve that quickly, otherwise we're going to have an intel overflow, which means we'll lose all that intel, which is not good. We don't want to do that, but we should be able to take care of at least a couple of them this turn, I would hope. So first, let's get to our correction. Okay, so we had to do a skill check against Darling with our agent Callie Dagger, but I forgot that she suffers a -1 penalty on her encounter tests. So we're going to have to roll that. Now, she had these 3 dice. So this one's going to stay in. I'm just going to kind of shuffle the other 2 up my hand, drop one in, and then we're going to roll to see if she still succeeded. If she did, nothing changes. If she failed, we're going to have to make a quick correction. So that's what we ended up with. Now, we needed 1 success. So let's roll our dice. Okay, let's roll. Yes, she took an injury. That's okay. That's not the worst thing that could happen, but she did succeed. So we're going to have to put an injury on her, but she also loses the demoralized status when she has a successful encounter. So she did. She had a successful encounter with Darling, one of the henchmen of Dr. Lobo. So basically we didn't have to change anything other than to provide Callie Dagger, Agent L39, with an injury. So that's going to end our correction. Now we can just get back to our normal turn. Okay, so we have Nika Shizuka up right now. She has 2 injuries and she can take 2 more, and I really, well, it's kind of risky. I want to make sure that we resolve at least 1 or 2 intel tokens this turn. So in our movement we are going to move and encounter one of the intel spaces and get those off the board, and hopefully they don't result in multiple injuries. So let's roll Agent Shizuka's movement die. Here is her movement die, so we're just going to roll that. And we rolled a 2. Oh, you know what else we got? We got an airport +1. That is good. So let's see what we can do there. Let's go back to the board and take a look. So this is Agent Shizuka. She is in New York. She has an airport there, which means she's going to be able to fly to a location with another airport. So I was looking to see if Berlin or Stockholm actually had an airport. They don't, but that's okay because she can fly to Warsaw with her movement of airport +1. Fly into Warsaw, then quickly bump into Berlin to get to that. And we could have used a UN transport token as well, but we didn't need to. So she's going to, let's make sure you can see, yes you can, see the whole thing. She's going to fly to Warsaw, and then with her final point she will move, her +1, she will move into into Berlin, where we will resolve the token there. We definitely need to clear the board of intel tokens, so she is going to take it. Now remember, we resolve the intel token before we do our encounter, so we know if we're dealing with a more difficult encounter or not. It was asked if you don't get the encounter, intel token, if you fail the encounter, and the answer is actually no, you do get the intel token. So it just means that acquiring the intelligence created a more difficult challenge for you. That goes into our pool, obviously face down. We don't know what it is, but there's enough penalties that go along with failing a challenge, like moving Dr. Lobo's board and perhaps suffering a bad condition. You don't lose the intel. There just might be consequences for gaining it. So now we're going to go to our. We're going to do her encounter in Berlin. Just make sure she's on the right spot there. Okay, so we're going to do a European encounter. We're going to take this one. It's going to be, ooh, she's been tailed. Really? O1, response group A. Interesting. Okay. And then we're going to draw our fate card as well. Now, remember how we have to read the fate cards in this circumstance. We have no intel and intel. Well, we took the intel, so we know that we're going to be taking the 4 instead. So this is going to be a very interesting encounter for her. Let's go to the book and get it done. Okay, we do know that when Agent Shizuka landed in Berlin to pick up intelligence on Dr. Lobo, she was tailed. And that allows us to, we know that being tailed, she gets to make one of these choices. Her best skills are in athletics. She does have a point in all the other ones except for deception, so we're definitely not going to try and be deceptive. Based on the fact that she's more combative than anything else, well, it's athletics, not really combative. Why don't we do this? We will escape. We're going to take number 1. So we're going to take encounter 1, number 1, with response or intel of 4. So let's go to that encounter and see what happens. Well, I don't think I've ever actually been on the first page of the book before for an event, but that's cool. So what do we have? So it's 114. It says, 4 men are searching for you inside a department store. We can. Oh, this is not her best attribute. I was hoping for like a chase or something so she could use her athletics. It says, test deception -1. Well, she can't. That's really bad. She only has a 1 deception. And or persuasion +1 with 2 passes. Now, she doesn't have disguise. In fact, I don't have anybody that has disguise. She has weapon use, seduction, and adventuring. So this is not going to be a strong play for her. But I think the only way we can really do this is to take persuasion +1. I think we're also going to spend a resolve. She spent 1 already. It'll add 1 die to a single test, so that'll give us a couple of dice to get 2 successes. And so we're going to have a total of her base die plus 2 more, +1 for persuasion, +1 for her skill. She has a 1 skill in persuasion, and then +1 for her resolve. So we're going to have a total of 1, 2, 3, 4 dice to roll. So I decided to go back to tripod mounted for the stability, so the camera didn't waver at all and gave you a more stable picture. I mean, I have to tell you, this making the turns take like I don't know, 15-10 minutes longer as I position the camera from place to place on the board because it takes up so much space. Anyway, that's my problem, not yours. We're going to get on with this, so I'm shuffling up the dice. We got 1. So that's her. That will be her skill of persuasion 1. 1 for her resolve, and 1 for her the test itself. Now, she does have to make 2, so let's roll our dice. Okay, here we go. Remember, we need 2 successes. Yes! And she got to heal. This could not have been a better roll for her. Wow. So she got her 2 successes. That's awesome. And she got to heal a point. Now, she had 2 injuries on her, so we were going to get to remove one of those. And that was actually about the best scenario we could have ended up with here. So let's go back to the book and see what happens for her success. Okay, here's our pass success here. It says, the men block all exits. You pick up a hat and a wig. Where you got that, I don't know. And walk with a limp right past 2 men at the front exit. You even ask one of them to light your cigarette on the way out. Up any skill. Well, that's always good for her. So since that was a persuasion skill, we're particularly poor at that, I think that we're going to up her persuasion from 1 to 2. And that will be the end of her encounter. Now we just have to draw her villain card. Okay, everybody, here's her villain card. So remember, we're not really playing the villain portion of it, just the end of turn event. So it says here that Peru's new president replaces entire cabinet with Smersh appointees. Oh, that's awful. Oh my gosh, we got to go kill all the people, all the leaders of Peru now. It says remove intel from South America. We don't have one in South America. God, we've been kind of lucky with that because we're going to be adding it. Add intel New York and Agadez. Wow, if we don't clear... I got to check this. We might actually have created an intel overflow there, which would suck. Let me check, and I'll be right back. So actually, that encounter did put us in an intel overflow scenario. So what does that mean? That means now the red intel in the coastal city counts toward that total, but it does not become removed from the board. It stays in Sydney where it's at currently. Only red intel that's moved into Swagman Hope doesn't count. It does count toward the total, but it doesn't it doesn't go away. However, all of this awesome intel that we had here is all going back to the pool. Sadly. Let me make sure I got them all. Looks like I did. Now we have to deal with the consequences of that. Okay, well, Dr. Lobo gathered up the intel and took out all the overflowing of intel that was being placed on him out in the world, and that ended Nika Shizuka's turn. So now we're going to move on to Sheena Mars. Sheena Mars is in Australia, so we're going to go roll her movement die, and she's going to move to Sydney, where she is going to pick up the one red intel token that is there, and also then encounter the Sydney space. Okay, so I'm just coming down here. We're going to roll her movement dice. Let's take these out for now. And she moves 3, so she doesn't have to spend anything. She didn't require anything but one move anyway. She's going to move to Sydney up here, and we're going to take that red intel token and we're going to put it in the intel box. So we do have some intel collected, and now we're going to draw an Australia encounter, and we're going to see what happens there. So for her Australia encounter, let's just put it right here so you can see it. We're going to find the missing agent, encounter 12N in the Australian book, and then we need a fate card. And we did take intel, so it's going to be 12N with response group N and a 5. So let's go deal with that. So here's our response groups. Now you can see we need to pick from response group N, which is right here. So we're trying to find the missing agent. So we can take no worries, mate. Yeah, I said that correctly because I spent a couple of years living in Bondi Beach, near Sydney, Australia. That was awesome. Anyway, take in a show, hurry, take one for the team, swagger, or mesmerize. Well, as I look at her skills, she's got a very high persuasion. I wonder if that mesmerize would include that. She's also got a 2 spycraft and a 2 deception. So I think we're going to take mesmerize. Because I do believe that's going to be the most beneficial choice for her. Kind of lends me to think it's going to be some kind of persuasion, deception, or test of that nature. So here's the Australian book. I'm going to get the encounter ready, and we'll see what happens. Well, this is going to be interesting. It says, this is 1265, which will be our mesmerize deal. This was a little unexpected. You sit across the table from the gambler, the last 2 players left in the poker tournament. You know the gambler has information on the whereabouts of a UN defector. You just need something of equal value to bet against it. This, you say, sliding a dossier into the middle of the table, a file on CIA operations in Australia. The gambler nods and deals the cards. Lifting the corners of your 5-card hand, your heart sinks. You have nothing. You pick up one of your poker chips, turning it over and over in your fingers. The gambler's eyes are drawn to it, and you keep turning it over and over as your other hand slowly reaches for the deck. Okay, now this is going to be a little different because of this. Let's check this out now. Okay, this is the gambler. He is actually one of our bad guys. Okay, so it says, when confronting the gambler, choose any level of the 3. Your selection establishes the stakes for your game. Beware, the gambler will read you like a book. If you lose, advance the villain track as normal in addition to the penalties or rewards specified below. If you take on the gambler at level 3, you risk causing Dr. Lobo's track to advance twice. Now let's take a look at these and see what we can do. It says level 1, casual. You were just here for a little information. Make a normal gambling action. Okay, if we win, we get an intel. That's pretty nice. If we lose, we gain the gambling skill. Interesting. Okay, so win or lose, we end up okay. Except, of course, losing could advance the villain track. Serious, level 2. The stakes are high. The gambler draws 6 cards, keeping 5 best cards. Win. Resolve win, 2 resolve, lose 2 injuries. Level 3, the takedown. You are here to take on the gambler. Take out the gambler. He draws 7 cards, keeping the best 5. Win, advanced location track by 1. We haven't advanced location track at all, by the way. Discard this card, or lose 4 injuries. Wow, that is rough. I'm going to have to think about this one, and we'll see what we're going to do. So here's what's interesting, is we do have the right skill for this for a change, gambling and luck. Now, what that does for us is when we're drawing our gambling hand from our fate deck, we can actually discard 1 and redraw. Actually, if we have the gambling skill, we can discard 2 and redraw. So let's see what we draw for our gambling hand here. Oh, and by the way, I decided to play the... I'm still deciding on which level to play. Do we go crazy balls to the walls and go after the level 3? That'd be awesome to advance the location intelligence track, because if we can advance that, we can better win the game, and we get to discard the gambler. I do have. This is the only character with luck and gambling. She has 2 fate points left. She could spend a fate point to draw, but he's going to draw 7 cards and keep the best 5. That could be bad for us. Oh, what the heck? Let's give it a shot. We're going all out. Since I have the gambling skill, we're going to go crazy. We're going to draw our hand first and see what we get. Well, here's what we got. I don't know how well you know poker, but the 4th best hand, or the 5th best hand in the game, meaning that there's 4 better hands than this one that could be drawn, is a flush. We could take a chance. I could just keep the, well, keeping the ace-queen's not going to do any good. You know, we could try and get a straight, but we're only going to be able to draw 2 more cards, so I think the flush is our best bet. So we're going to discard this and see what we get. Well, we had a bit of luck, guys. We did get a flush, but I still think that's going to be very hard to beat. We got an ace-high flush, so ace-king, that's pretty good. If he draws a flush, we're probably going to be a little higher, but there's, like I said, there's 4 hands better than this, so let's see what he draws. Okay, I laid out his cards. Let's see what he gets. So he's got a 3 of clubs, an 8 of diamonds, a queen of hearts, a jack of clubs, straight coming on maybe, a 7 of spades, a queen of spades, a 6 of clubs. Unbelievably, I think we clearly beat him. His best hand, he keeps the best 5. So right now, the best thing he's got was 6, 7, 8. He doesn't have a straight. That would have beat me. It looks like he has 2, well, not even 2 pair. Wow. Nope, not even close to it. His best, oh man, couldn't have lucked out any better than this. The best thing he had was a pair of queens. So we have been blessed with beating the gambler quite soundly. And he had 7 cards too. He could have easily whooped us, and he didn't. So we win by advancing the track and discarding the gambler. Can't believe it. I mean, we've been really lucky in this game. This game's usually doesn't go quite this smoothly for me. But what does that mean? We get to flip him over. He is no longer a problem for us in the game, and we have technically defeated one of our first villains, even though he doesn't count toward the victory the same way the others do. But we defeated the gambler. Goodbye, gambler. So the first thing we do here is we get to advance our location intelligence track to 1. You can see in a 3-player game, 5 is what we're targeting. So, or 3 to 5 player game. So we got to advance that by 1. That's good. And now if we can keep doing that, we'll even have another path to victory here. So you might be asking yourself, why didn't we advance this location track? I don't know if you are asking yourself this, but we'll assume. When we encounter Darling, she was part of an encounter card. We did not do that through a green location token. So, as I understand it, correct me if I'm wrong, but as I understand it, that is not a scenario where we would advance the track, but it does bring us a level closer to defeating her. So that ends Agent Shinamar's encounter. Now we just have to draw her villain card and see where we place some intel. Okay, so for our end of turn event, it says a sterilization drug found in China's water supply. Okay, we're going to remove all intel from Asia, but we don't have any intel on the board, and we're going to add intel to Lagos. And that is in the blue area, so in the middle of the map. Let me go to the map here. We'll get show you where we're going to place that intel. So we're going to take an intel token from our pool. We're going to place it here on Lagos. Let me check to see if there was a airport closure. Airport closed in Mumbai. Okay, so the city of Mumbai is closed. That's going to be in India. It's right here. That's unfortunate, or we're starting to get limited transports, but we haven't used any of our UN transportation tokens, which Callie Dagger should try and collect, because she can give them at the start of her. It says she may share intel or UN transports, so we definitely want to use those. But let's get on now to Callie Dagger's actual turn and see what we can do. Actually, I want to do one little thing before we move on from Sheena Mars's turn. Let's use her top secret card to do this, to do the flip to intel in the pool. Might as well do that and get rid of that card. So we actually have 2 intel currently in the pool. I'll show you. We have one of them that's red, so I'll tell you what that one is. It says double agent. I gotta look and see what that does. No idea. And then we have a weapons token. So that's good, because we do know currently we need 1 weapons token to defeat Dr. Lobo in his lair. Okay, so that red intel token it's still just a regular double agent token, so it's okay. Now we can officially go on to Callie Dagger's turn. So Callie is in Panama City. I think we're going to drop one of her UN transports to get to Lagos and pick up that intelligence. Now that she's recovered, she's gotten her skills up some, she's recovered from her demoralization, she's going to go all out and try and get some more intel into the pool. So we're going to fly her over to Lagos via UN transport token. We are going to not collect this intel. We have 3 intel in the pool, but we need to advance the location the location intelligence track. So we're going to put this back into our pool here, as you can see, and we're going to take one of these green location tokens. Now, how we determine where that goes is we draw a fake card and we look at the location on it. So Nairobi in Africa is where we're going to place our green location token. So that means we have discovered that just next door to her in Lagos there is one of the henchmen. We don't know which one, but one of the henchmen of Dr. Lobo. So what we're going to do next is do her encounter. So we need to pull an Africa encounter and a fake card. Okay, here's what we pulled for her encounters. You see that she's got an Africa encounter. It says Risky Dead Drop. Page 32, response group E, and she did pick up an intel there, so we're going to use the with intel selection of 3. Let's go to the book. Okay, so the first thing we do is we know we have a risky dead drop, and we have response group E. It says take charge, I'd rather be lucky, unorthodox, frightened, joke, or trust no one. Well, the best skill that Callie Dagger has is, of course, she has stealth and driving and piloting. So take charge, I'd rather be lucky. Her persuasion is very strong. So why don't we do take charge, number 1. So we're going to have page 32, response group 1 with intel 3. And let's go to the page and see what happens. Okay, here's our encounter right here, 32.1.3. It says, you are tailed by a mysterious car, which is why you are making your pickup in the most dangerous part of town. Your stalker will think twice about following you on foot. When you arrive at your location, you see some vicious-looking locals hanging out in the street. Boldly, you get out and walk to the pickup location. It says, test persuasion +1. You need 2 to pass, or stealth or luck. We are in luck. We automatically pass with stealth. So we have the stealth skill, advanced skill. So we don't have to roll dice. We just automatically pass. We go to the pass section of the turn. It says you ignore them, they ignore you, and you make the pickup. We can pick up 1 general intel or flip 1 intel in the pool. Well, all the intel in the pool is currently flipped up. So she's going to pick up a generic intel. I'm just doing that right now. I'm grabbing it from our pool and putting it in, or from the board, and putting it into our intel pool face down. So that was a successful encounter for her. Very simple, very straightforward. Now we just have to draw her villain card. Okay, so for her end of turn event, it says, Smersh sells yellow cake uranium to African doomsday cult. Remove intel from Africa. Good, we don't have any. Add intel to Novosibirsk in the USSR, and the Las Vegas airport closes. Dang, man, what happened? I can't go to Las Vegas? That ain't right. That's not right. Okay, so we're going to let's go up to the map, and I already closed the airport, but let's go to the map up here. And we're going to put our intel token in Blabroshnovroshtish. It's right here along the Trans-Siberian Railway. So that is going to mark the end of our round. Man, another really good round. We defeated the gambler. We picked up some red intelligence out of Australia. We're going to pick up another dead drop next turn in Australia, which is another, those are great bonus items. We've increased some skills. Shizuka even healed herself in managing to complete her mission. So, yeah, we're doing great. This is probably about the smoothest this game has ever gone for me. We've also uncovered the location of one of the other villains. So I'm really looking forward to our next turn, guys. This is a fun game, so I'm definitely enjoying it. It just can be a long game, and I do know that viewing endurance seems to taper off the more episodes we have. So where I might start off with ending up with hundreds of viewers on the first episode, it might drop down by half or more each various episode that goes. So I don't want to make too long a series for you guys, but if this one's keeping you going, it's certainly keeping me going. I will continue to do it. I don't believe, as I think about it, I don't believe we did anything wrong, but I'll during editing, if I find something, I will add it, and if I miss something, let me know. So, until next time, we're getting closer to defeating Dr. Lobo in Agents of Smersh.